that's really the main reason why I didn't put together an agenda, because I knew we'd be having a couple of guests. We have Vanessa, who is there in the comments. She's actually going to be our moderator today. So welcome, Vanessa, and thank you for doing this. And as I mentioned before, we should have a couple of guests coming on, hence the no agenda. I see Ocean from Ottawa, Canada. Welcome. Ingrid chiming in from Orlando. Welcome. And of course, like as I said, if the wind is a little bit too crazy, just let me know. I think I can make some adjustments to the microphone. Can you guys hear me? Oh, there's no Ali, they're saying there's no audio. No audio. No. There's no audio. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Let me know. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, all right. Just making sure everybody can hear me. Okay. All right, just making sure that that's okay. It seems like we got everything plugged in. Okay. Yeah, always some technicalities. Okay, good. All right, we're just double checking. Okay, cool. Thank you, Gina. Thank you. Hey, Charmin. Well, from Texas. Thanks for chiming in. Thanks for hopping on. Oh, Janine, you just left yesterday? Okay, cool. All right, glad the audio is working. Welcome, Bronx, New York in the house. Greetings from the UK. Lorne, I see you. Hi, Tiffany. Hey, Suzette. Welcome. Thank you all for joining. I don't know. I think my mic might have been out earlier, but I was just saying that it is super windy here today. It literally just started picking up maybe about, I would say, 20 or 30 minutes before we got going here. So let me know if it's a little bit too much. I will try to make some adjustments if I can to the live stream. I also mentioned that I do not have much of an agenda today because we have some guests coming on, and that is pretty much what I am relying on. And then also, of course, all of your questions, any questions that you have, please let me know in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them. I love getting questions and inquiries about anything and everything Jamaica. Hey, Kingston16, welcome. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Locks Travel and Wine DIY. Thanks for joining. And yeah, this is the beach view that we have today. All right, I think we're gonna keep this thing moving. I'm going to invite the first guest, but they won't be coming on for another 30, but we just want to get everything set up and get everything going. Hey, Posh, thanks for joining. Oh, it is getting windy. All right, we're just going to have to work with it as best we can. Okay, so to start with, I don't know if everybody saw the most recent video that was released, which was with Deezer from Dat Me Said TV, and she's a fellow Jamaican YouTuber. And we had the chance a few weeks ago to get together and do a podcast together, which was awesome. And we talked about a bunch of different things, and it's actually doing really, really well. The best video that I've put out by far. And I spoke with Deezer yesterday, as a matter of fact, and her channel is doing really, really well from that. So I'm so happy for that. And I thank you all for watching it and supporting the channel and supporting that video. If you haven't seen it, it is really, I highly recommend it. I'm not just saying it from my perspective, but her story is pretty incredible in terms of how she ended up coming to Jamaica and the transition from her life in the UK to here in Jamaica, and then also the struggle that she went through here, which I had no idea, and I learned about during our conversation. It's like one of those things, like, you never know what people are going through. And so we learned a lot about, I learned a lot about her, and even how she got into YouTube, which is pretty awesome. And she's doing really, really well. And I presume some of the people on the live stream here are new subscribers and just came over from her channel. So want to give you guys a warm welcome and thank you for joining up. And we do kind of similar content. She's more, I would say, more real estate and showing the country, whereas I am more interviewing people about their experience of transitioning to Jamaica from wherever it may be that they come from, abroad, and just trying to share those experiences with you, the audience, and hopefully you learn a little bit about what it's like to actually tactically move here to Jamaica, what it takes, and doing this through the experience of the people that I interview. And I try to do it in terms of where they come from. Like, I try to be pretty diverse about that. And I also try to be pretty diverse about the background of those individuals, whether they're near retirement, they are retired, they are young people, people who are working from abroad here in Jamaica. And so I try to mix it up so it's relevant to a cross section of people. But at the end of the day, both my content and Deezu's content, we are trying to show Jamaica in an authentic light and through the real experience of our own and also that of others. And hopefully we are able to convince one, two, or all of you to either move to Jamaica or move back to Jamaica, because I think there's an incredible opportunity. And we talk about that a lot as well on that podcast episode that I released last week. And there is, and I will continue to talk about the different opportunities that we have in Jamaica. And I also talk about that specifically here in Negril, because there is, and she's from St. Mary, and she mentioned a lot about different opportunities that are in St. Mary. So I try to shed light on that as well, in terms of just, I wouldn't even say out the box thinking. I would say businesses are entrepreneurial ventures that may have worked in your neck of the woods or where you're from, and then bringing those ideas here to Jamaica. And then also, of course, your professional and personal experience of living in different countries around the world. I think, especially as returning residents, you bring tremendous value to our communities all around Jamaica. And so that's in a nutshell what we talked about in the podcast that I did with Deezer. So if you haven't seen it already, I definitely would encourage you to take a look and see that conversation, because I think it was really awesome. And I think the numbers speak for itself in terms of how it's doing, and then and just the raw content itself and the richness of it. So again, that was the release that we did last week. And then the week before, we had Irija. I don't want to forget about her. She did amazing as well. She's a young lady that moved from Brooklyn to here in Negril. She started out in Kingston and then eventually moved to Negril here. And she did it. How she's making her living is actually through yoga practice. And she goes through her whole story, how she got into yoga, how that led her to moving down here in Jamaica and then becoming a teacher, and also actually starting her own yoga retreat, which I think is pretty amazing. And she's making her living here in Negril as a yoga instructor and as a yoga entrepreneur. And I think, especially for young people, and more especially for young Black women, it's just kind of, to me, even for me, she's an inspiration and somebody to look up to in terms of just taking that leap and really exploring her dreams and exploring the possibility of how she wants to live her life. And she didn't, hold anything back. And of course, with both those individuals, Deezer and Irija, they've had their struggles. It wasn't a smooth road, but I think you can also learn from their mistakes that they made, and they give a lot of great advice on. They give a lot of great advice on their just their experience. I think that's one of the greatest things is that they're able to do is that they are able to allow people to learn through them and learn from them. And Ari Ja dropped some major bombs, I should say, are gems in terms of her experience and her advice to young people, and everything from finding an apartment to transitioning from Brooklyn to Kingston, and then from Kingston to Negril. She really does give a lot of amazing advice. So especially for young people who are thinking of moving to Jamaica, and also like, you're thinking, how am I going to make money? How am I going to make an income? She was able to do it again through yoga and through a passion of hers. And it's like one of those things that if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And she never said that, but I feel like she is can fall under that umbrella, so to speak. And that's Irie Ja. And again, sticking with young people, especially for those people who have the ability and are blessed to be able to work from abroad, whatever their career is. I mean, I think Jamaica is a great place. I would say specifically Negril is a great place to consider doing that. We obviously have pretty good internet as we are live streaming here. We have our hiccups, of course, but for the most part, it's pretty reliable and it's pretty steady, I'd also say. And if that is your concern, that having consistent internet. I had a friend who came down here for a few months, and he works in finance. I made a video about that as well, podcast we did together, and he just kind of explained his experience on working from home, so to speak, down here. And so it's very, very possible to do that if you are somebody who is still working, not retired, and can work online. I could speak for Negril. Like we do have pretty good internet here. And then, of course, I've interviewed quite a few people who have retired here, and I continue to interview them because, like, I learned so much from them in terms of one, like their life, and everybody who I've interviewed has just like a completely different way of how they ended up in Jamaica. And it's just like incredible to hear these different stories and hear why different individuals fell in love with Jamaica. Everybody has their own reason and maybe a particular peculiarity, if you will, about Jamaica as to what, and in the beginning, just continue to bring them back, and then eventually what held them and made them stay and made Jamaica officially their home, not their home away from home. And so those interviews are pretty awesome as well. So, a few that stick out in my head. We have Misty Memphis. She was actually one of the very first people that I interviewed. That is a great interview. She's from Memphis, Tennessee. No Jamaican heritage, no Jamaican affiliation, at least by blood whatsoever. And she moved down here. So she is the founder, administrator, moderator of Capital of Casual, the Facebook group. So it's it is one of the most popular Negril Facebook groups that are out there. So a lot of great information on what's happening in Negril. And as the Capital Casual community really keeps people informed about what's happening. It's a great resource. And I also definitely encourage people to join that Facebook, Capital of Casual. And that was a great interview. And a lot of these people, because I'm just thinking, a lot of these people I'm definitely going to have to come back on the podcast. So Misty is definitely somebody I'm probably going to reach out to her to have come on, because she has, after we finished that, she's like told me, she's like, oh, she missed like all these different stories that she wanted to tell about. And then a lot of the comments were, there were accusations of it not being realistic and this and that. And she's very active in the comments, as a matter of fact, defending everything that she said. And, she's not a person, she's a straight talk, she's not a person that has anything to hide. So I definitely recommend taking a look at that interview that I did with with Misty Memphis, who retired here from Memphis, Tennessee. Again, no Jamaican affiliation background whatsoever. Next, I want to definitely bring up Elaine Bradley. So she's somebody retiree from the UK. Not sure how long she's been here, but it was her and her late husband who had moved here, and she was a nurse. I forget the name, and I'm sure somebody's going to write it in the channel, but I forget the name of the hospital system in the UK. But she was a nurse for that system, and then she retired here with her late husband, Brad Bradley, and they are just such a staple. Miss Bradley's definitely a huge staple in the community here in Negril. She did an amazing clinic at downtown Negril. So I should know the name of the clinic, but unfortunately I do not. But basically, she has a clinic. She's in charge of a clinic downtown that fits orthotics for, it's not even orthotics. It's basically children who have a hard time walking. And she works with Ryu, and she did an amazing clinic last week, and she was featured on television, and I can't applaud her enough. We talk a little bit about that in the interview that I did with her, but the majority of the interview was definitely focused on her transition to Jamaica, and then also her lifestyle here in Jamaica and what's that like. I think that's what people are really interested in. And I know safety comes up a lot, and she really dives into that as a retired person here in Jamaica. And that is, we learn a lot about her and her day-to-day lifestyle here as a retired person. And the last retired person that I'll bring up is Daniel Grizzle, and he's the owner of Shirella Inn. If you saw my stories that I put up today, I actually posted my breakfast that I had with my father there this morning at Shirella Inn. They have amazing breakfast. We try to go there almost every Sunday. We hop there, and if you want to see like Negril there in Negril and meet a lot of people who are returnees, expats, etc., the Shirella Inn on a Sunday morning is where it's at. So we try to do that on Sundays, and it was a great breakfast. Anyway, so Mr. Grizzle is the owner and founder of Shirella Inn, and we had an amazing conversation together about how he started Shirella, how he got into, and his late wife Sylvia Grizzle, and their just constant mission of focusing on the environment and particularly the environment and ecosystem of Negril. And they're just such huge. That family is such huge advocates for the environment, especially I don't want to get into it, but just the environment. And he's also one of the founding members of the Negril Chamber of Commerce, and we had an amazing conversation just about his retirement, and also, I wouldn't say retirement, but because he's an emeritus of the Negril Chamber of Commerce, and also still continues to be very involved in the community. And we just have like a very lengthy and diverse discussion about Jamaica, about retiring here, and he just gives amazing advice about retiring here and for retirees. And so I just encourage people to take a look at that video that I did with Mr. Grizzle. It's one of the most popular ones that I have on my channel, actually. So if you are retired or looking to retire in Jamaica, that is probably one of the most informative videos that at least that I have done on my channel, and I would recommend that for sure. All right, let's hop on to the comments here. I want to make sure I get them. I see Neisha, I see you're on deck. I'll bring you up in a second. I just want to get through these comments. Actually, let's bring you up now. Don't want to have you waiting around. So we're going to add Neisha, our first guest today, to the stream. Hey, Neisha, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
I can't hear you. That could be my fault, though. Hold on.
Oh, you can't? Let me see if my mic is on.
Let me change my settings. 1 second.
Okay.
All right, 1 sec. All right. Can you hear me still?
I can still hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Okay. Yes. I just can't hear myself, but that's okay. We don't need that.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. 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 Okay. Let me switch to me. And there we go. Okay. Wonderful. Oh, thank you for hopping on. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm so happy you were able to join us today. And we've got quite a few people in here, which is cool. So
Excellent.
don't want to hold you up too much. So to start with, if you would do us the honor of just giving a quick introduction on yourself to everybody, and also where you're coming live from.
Okay. Hey, guys. My name is Neisha-yen Jones. I come streaming live from Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica, actually. Not Negril, where he is, which is all nice and sunny. But in Kingston, it's not as, no oceans here. Yeah, my background, I lived in England for many years. My background is in theatre. So Broadway, Lion King, Stomp, Dirty Dancing, Porgy and Bess, The Harder They Come, just a few of the shows that I've been involved with internationally, touring in Japan and here and Denmark and other things. And I migrated to Jamaica about 8 years ago, I believe. And yeah, with my daughter, and I've been living here ever since.
Awesome, awesome. And you were born here in Jamaica?
I was born here in Jamaica and I left when I was about 8, like everybody else, the Great Migration.
Mm-hmm.
Left when I was about 8 or 9 and then came back recently. I'm not going to say how old I am, but let's just say spent
Okay.
many years in England for a minute. So, yeah, so I thought I'd come back to Jamaica and explore the scene here, come back home as an adult to see what that's like. And it's been eye opening, to say the least.
I'm sure. So, what was the driving factor for you coming back?
Well, let me keep it real. My daughter is mixed race,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted her to explore, I wanted her to be similar to me. I wanted us to have similar experiences that would keep us unified in a sense. So we lived in America for a while as well as England, and I wanted her to also experience the other side of her birthright, if you like. So that meant
Mm-hmm.
coming home. I wanted her to have the experience, the authentic experience that I had, because she is mixed race, she is Jamaican. So even though she's very light skinned and long hair and whatever, it's still a very it's still a part of who she is, and I wanted her to be able to relate to that authentically, because I know a lot of persons internationally struggle with that. Especially persons of mixed heritage, they tend to struggle with their sense of identity and sense of self. So I didn't want that for her. So I was like, okay, we've done that side for a minute. Let's also do this side for a minute as well. So that was important to me. So that's why
Okay.
we came here.
All right. Awesome. And then in terms of like your lead up to your transition back to Jamaica, back home, obviously income and supporting yourself, supporting your daughter is a huge part of that. How did you go about that journey?
Well, being a creative, I when I was
Mm-hmm.
in Lion King, Jamaica is we have a lot of persons actually who were in the Lion King at the same time as me. So there was a couple of other persons who was in the show at the same time. This is at the Lyceum Theatre in London West End, and I reached out to them and I was like, "Look, I'm coming back to Jamaica. What is the creative scene like?" Because, like I said, I've been away for many years, over 20 years, 27 years, something like that. So I was like, "What is the scene like? How easy would it be for me to get employment? What was it like?" So I made sure I made some connections, and then that was it. I came here for a summer. I was like, let me try it for a summer first.
Mm-hmm.
So I came and taught at a huge um, tertiary institution here in Jamaica, and just on a summer program. And then on the back of that, I was like, okay, let me stay for a year. Okay, let me stay for 2 years. Okay, and then now I live here. So yeah, now I'm here.
Awesome, awesome. And now, what do you do now? I know you're super talented and you do a multitude of things, and hopefully we'll be working together on some of those things in the future. But yeah, if you could let everybody know what it is that you do currently.
Yes, I currently host a television program here in Jamaica. I host TV shows and events. I host a program called Daytime Live here in Jamaica, Smile Jamaica, a Weekend Smile rather, in Jamaica, Fame Frequency, and about to start hosting Dancing Dynamite as well, which is another television show here in Jamaica. So TV hosting, media personalities is, I guess, is the brand or the label that you put
Hmm.
on me currently, as well as writing and producing and acting and stuff that I do as well.
Awesome, awesome. And before we move forward, can you just tell us you're obviously on Instagram, right? I believe we follow each other.
Yes, I
Okay.
am on Instagram, and
Okay.
so my name is Neisha-yen. That's Neishayen, and I'm the only one with that name in the whole world. So luckily, on Instagram, my handle is Neisha-yen, and on Facebook, it's Neisha-yen, and on TikTok, it's Neisha-yen.
Okay,
So
awesome.
yeah.
So I'm going to ask Vanessa, she's our moderator, if you can just type that in the comments there, Vanessa, so we can make sure everybody follows Nisha on Instagram and Facebook. So if you can just repeat it one more time, how to spell it.
Yep. So it's Neishayen. So first name is Nisha Yen, and the last name is Jones. That's Jones. So that's Nisha Yen Jones.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Okay, so hopefully we get you some new followers on there.
That'd be great.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, and then so we obviously have, not obviously, but we have some ambitions or plans to be working together in the future. And one of the subjects that we had spoken about, and then also one of the topics I wanted to talk about on my channel, because I get this a lot, is the basically the dating scene in Jamaica and getting an understanding. And I know, just speaking with different people, and I have people lined up that I'm going to be bringing on the podcast, like there are different experiences depending on where you are in the country, uh,
Yeah.
depend depending on whether you're in Kingston, whether you're here in Negril. I can talk to you about that too. But the experiences are different. And then also I think there are vast experiences, differentiated experiences between guys and girls. And so I was going to say you're an expert at this, but maybe we all are, in terms of our experience. But kind of wanted to hop into that, and this is something that comes up on in emails and sometimes in the comments about understanding what that is like down here, especially for young people, because like as much as I promote Negril and as much as I want people to come to Negril, one of the aspects that of doing that is really reaching out to young people, and especially young families. And like I always hope that, like, hey, you come down here, you can meet somebody, you can start a family, because to me that is like how we further the generations of Negril and really help to grow Negril, is
Yeah.
to attract those types of people with young, smart, ambitious minds. And I think a big component of that is finding and meeting good quality people. So with that, I will toss the ball to you.
Yeah, like you said something earlier about the it being very different dating in Jamaica depending on if you're male or female and depending on where you live. Another big component about dating in Jamaica as well is what's your economic bracket
Mm,
as well. So you find that even with that factor, it looks different. So the thing about dating in Jamaica, as it may be with the rest of the world, but I'm going to be specific to here, is it depends on what you are looking for. A friend of mine came here from Atlanta. She was very specific about what she wanted. And based on that, she was very successful in dating. She was very clear. She wanted somebody who was very much into the culture, aka like she wanted someone who was a Rastafarian, someone's into the roots and that kind of underground movement. I say underground, but that
mhm,
kind of movement. She was very successful in that. I know another friend of mine who dating here. She came to Jamaica. She bought her house, bought her car, set up her business, whatever, and she is struggling to date here purely because of what her expectations are. So I think your expectations when you come into it will lead to how successful you are or not. successful. If you get what I'm saying.
And so, can you just explain that a little bit? Like, I don't know if you know the details, but what were her expectations and how were they missed?
Yeah, like she basically came to Jamaica and wanted the Jamaican men to act like the American men. You know what I'm saying? Jamaicans date in a very particular kind of way.
Okay.
We're very culturally immersed, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw something on TikTok the other day, and it says a Jamaican person will express their feelings in a certain way. It's not going to be necessarily with prose and stanza and a poem. It's going to be with other things. So if you don't understand the culture, you will be expecting somebody to say certain things or articulate certain things in a certain way, and that's not what you get because our culture is not made that way, particularly how men communicate with women. So she's always expecting that level of, not even level, but that type of communication and that type of expression. But that's not who we are as a people. We don't express ourselves that way. So, yeah, so your expectation as well will lead to the level of success that you have.
Okay. And then sticking with communication because it's such an important part of any relationship,
Mm.
would you say that that is also relevant on the female side?
Yeah, for sure. Because for me, now I can speak for me, um, the things that I expect or the things that I want someone to do or speak is very particular as well. So yes, it's different for both people. I think expectation is a big thing. Like I have had relationships in Jamaica where it wasn't successful because I wasn't able to articulate what it was that I needed in a way that he was able to receive. So
I
therefore we
see.
were communicating, you know, at different frequencies. So it wasn't successful. It took me a minute. Like I said, now I've lived in Jamaica for almost 9 years. So what I know now about dating is very different to what I knew then.
I
So I
see.
came to Jamaica then very much like, he's going to have to do this, he's going to have to speak like this, he's going to have to whatever. I have since, I won't say changed, but modified, as it
Okay.
relates to where I am and what I want and how to get what I want based on where I am. Because that's also a factor. If that
Okay.
makes any sense. I'm being
No, I
cryptic.
I get it. I get it. And so, what is it like for you now in Kingston? And are you single? Are you married? But
Yes,
okay.
yes. That's why when you said that I'm an expert, I was like, oh well, sure, in
Hmm.
expert in experience, but not necessarily in length of time. I am single currently,
Hmm.
and yeah, dating in Kingston because Kingston is I would say the corporate hub of Jamaica, if you like to say it like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Everywhere
that's
thinks
true.
they're the corporate hub, but Kingston is, where it's at. So it's a different mindset as well. Dating, because like I said, I'm in the creative industry. So dating in that industry and dating across it to someone who's in the corporate industry as well has its own set of nuances. I
Okay.
was going to say challenges, but I'll say nuances as well. So they come with their own kind of expectations and their own kind of language and understanding. Communication again is a big thing. So yeah.
Okay. And then, do you find that you had mentioned earlier with the example of your friend and expectations and them not being met? Do you find that you're meeting people who meet your expectations and what you're looking for in general?
Uh, it's hard. No, it's
Hmm.
hard. It's hard for me. I find again my unique experience. Like I said, I have a daughter. My daughter is a certain age as well, which means that I am a certain age. I want. I'm also qualified and capable in what I bring to the table,
Hmm.
which means that I'm not as flexible on certain things that I determine to be important.
Is this going back
So
to your economic argument?
yeah, but not only,
Not
not
only.
not
Okay.
only, but a part of. I find that when you get to a certain age, everyone is kind of earning in the same kind of bracket.
Hmm.
But then you also want a certain kind of communication level, a certain kind of understanding. certain things that you will accept and will not accept. You know what I mean? And once you start to fine tune that and go into what you really want, and I think that's specific to maybe anyone and anything. Once you start to really focus and take away the fluff, the irrelevant things, it then gets harder to find what you want because it's easier to see what you don't want, you know. So the plates, if you like, gets a little less full if you only eat mushrooms. Then if there's no
Mm-hmm.
mushroom on the table, on the plate, there's no mushroom on the plate. You know what I'm saying? But if you're just like, oh, I just
Gotcha.
want food, a buffet, then there'd be a lot of options. Yeah.
And in, I guess in general, like how do your friends feel about dating? And I'm assuming most of your friends are in Kingston, and so and like
Mhm.
what their experiences are like, and I guess what you ladies talk about amongst yourselves.
Um, it varies. It varies, to be honest. I have friends who are very happily involved. I have friends who are not so happily involved, and then I have friends who are happily single. You know, so it varies. I don't want to deter anybody because I think
Mm-hmm.
dating generally worldwide, because you know I dated in England, dated in America. It has its own set of joys and challenges. My friends are. I'm fortunate to have a good cross section of persons that gives me different stories, and all their stories are wonderful in its own way. So I remain hopeful, and yeah, I think there's nothing like a, for me personally, there's nothing like a Jamaican man, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
I am very clear as to what I want and what I want my partner to look like and how I want him to behave. And so the strength of a beautiful black Jamaican man is just like, oh my God, the beauty in it, the intelligence, the drive, the ambition is just such a, it's wonderful to see, and there's a lot of it around, and it's exciting. So
Awesome,
yeah,
awesome. Love that.
yeah.
All right, we have a, I would think, a pretty relevant question by Jeff here. I'm trying to
Hmm.
pull it. Oh, is it up? Oh, yeah, there it is. It says, "Can an older retired Canadian man find love in Jamaica?" I have my thoughts on that, but I'll let you go first.
I would say absolutely. I would say easily, in fact, for sure. Yeah. As it relates to demographics, surveys here in Jamaica, you find that there's a certain population or a certain demographic of women in Jamaica that are single. And that would be in the older bracket, as this gentleman was saying, that are single. So for Jeff Holman, for sure, and easily too.
Uh, sh- Great.
What do
And
you think? What do you
yeah, I
think?
was
Are you
gonna
thinking,
say
yeah?
no, definitely. And there are numerous examples that I can speak to, not specifically, but just from my observation and being a hotelier here, that there have been successful marriages and relationships that have been found right here at Travelers, and of people, of older people, older men, older women from Canada, from the States, from Europe, foreigners who come here and find love again, regardless of age, you know. And it is very possible. And like there are like specific examples that I am thinking of right now in my head of people who've been longtime guests of Travelers, are people that I've known to come down to Jamaica for many years, 10, 15 years. And they serendipity, happenstance, found somebody that they fell in love with, and they become their life partners. And so I think that is a very, very real possibility, and it's definitely something that can be found here, because I've seen it again multiple times in my experience as a hotelier. And the people I'm thinking of, the relationships and marriages that I'm thinking of, like they're very, very happy. You know, they're very, very happy. So it is possible,
Yeah.
Jeff, and definitely encourage you to explore. I think dating at any age isn't easy, right? So, um, and I'm not saying it's easy, you know, coming down here, but I'm just pretty much advocating that it is very possible. Great question. Thank you for the question, Jeff.
Yeah.
Uh, so we got another comment here from Scotty. There's a very distinct difference between a Jamaican that particularly grew up abroad versus the Jamaican that has always lived in Jamaica at least 95% of their life. I could go on and on. I would say so. I
Okay.
mean, yeah, I would say that for anybody, right? So,
Yeah, anywhere in the world.
right,
If you,
yeah,
yeah, anywhere, if you're coming from somewhere outside of a place to a place or not having that experience for their whole lives, yeah, there's a difference. Absolutely. I agree with you. I don't know if that was supposed to be a positive or a negative comment,
right, right,
but
right.
it's just the truth.
Hmm.
It's just factual. I am very different to a Jamaican that would have lived here their whole lives. Of course, because a person is their experiences, and my experience, my life is a sum of different experiences from all over the world, so that would make me different to someone whose experiences would be here. So yeah, accurate in, yeah.
Suzette, oh, thank you so much. My first ever donation.
Hey,
Thank you,
super
Suzette.
sticker.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Because Suzette
Thanks
is
you.
like, you guys are talking truth right now, like talk the things.
Thank you
So
so much. Really appreciate that.
yeah, excellent.
Scotty says that wasn't meant to be negative at all. Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks, Scotty. Yeah,
Uh,
and Scotty is right. There is a difference for sure. So there's
um,
another thing here.
love, taste, music, and art. Is it true that it is forbidden to love, to be gay or lesbian in Jamaica, and how do people deal with that?
Okay, so in my experience here, there is a narrative globally that says Jamaicans are homophobic. I've heard that a lot, even in our songs, well, or older songs. I'm not going to sing any of them, but I'm sure you all know the songs, and but that's very, very inaccurate. There's a lot of persons on TV here in various different levels of employment, academia, everywhere, that's gay and in love and doing their thing. It's not at all frowned upon in the way that it is, we're made to believe it is. Perhaps a narrative that we may see on some social media or on the internet sometimes or whatever. That's not quite accurate at all. There was definitely a stigma attached to being gay in Jamaica. That stigma may still be present with a small group of persons. I'm not going to say it's not there, because
Hmm.
it is there, but for the most part, for the majority of people, that's not the case. Like, Jamaicans are very live and let live, like very laid back in a lot of ways, and as long as it doesn't impact persons personally, it's like, do your thing, And this is my experience. I have a lot of persons around who have their own sexual experiences, and they live it freely and proudly and openly. So that's what I've observed here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you. Yeah, the stigma is there for sure. I think amongst certain circles that is still rife for sure. But then I also think that we are we are progressing as a society, and like you said, I think for the most part, people are just concerned about their lives and their day to day, and not really concerned with. I'd like to think they're not concerned with other people's other, like how they live their lives, and like you said, if it doesn't affect them, they're going to go about their business. And I know I spoke about this before this question came up on my channel, and I was speaking specifically about Negril. I just think Negril, and you can tell me, Nisha, if you agree or disagree with this, but Negril is probably one of the more liberal places in Jamaica. And I mean, for God's sakes, we're the home of hedonism, right? And that also says a lot about our community. So, I mean, we're accepting of people from all walks of life. And, I haven't, and again, this is like you said, that's your experience. This is my experience. I haven't heard anything in my experience being down here as far as that goes. But
Yeah.
yeah, again, that's our experience. That's my experience. And good question. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah, and the word forbidden, the question was, is it forbidden to
Right.
be lesbian or gay? Forbidden? No, it's 2022. Like, who can forbid you to do anything short of
Right.
like, it's not illegal. You know what I'm saying? So it's illegal things, but outside of that, nothing is forbidden here. Like, trust me, everybody is Jamaica is we are very close to the U.S. So we live Jamaicans. Whatever you see is going on everywhere. It's going on here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for better or for worse,
For
we are
better or for worse.
very
I was
influenced by
like,
U.S.
listen,
Yet.
listen, listen. It's very open minded. Like, it's not what it used to be. Our
Hmm.
border persons are coming in. You have persons from all over the world coming to Jamaica and making Jamaica their home. And because of that, we also have Jamaicans who are leaving and coming back. So they carry with them like an open mindedness that perhaps wasn't there 50 years ago. We weren't so closed in, but it wasn't anywhere in the world 50 years ago, because now we all have social media. We're all seeing what's happening. So everything about Jamaica is open up, and that is also includes our sexuality and how we view it, how we view women, gender roles, how we view everything like that is open up. You know what I'm saying? All over the world, and Jamaica is no different, and that's good and bad, um, all sides. So it's wonderful to see it happening, and yeah, I hope that
Great point.
helps.
No, definitely. I think you made it a really great point.
Yeah.
We have another question here from Janine. Is it easier? No, sorry, not a question, a statement. It is easier for men to find a partner in Jamaica. Many high quality single women here, in my opinion.
Well, Janine, Jamaica is ranked number 3 in the world, I believe, for female in the workplace occupying a high earning position. So Jamaica is doing very good in women doing really well in the workplace. We have, I think it's like 72% of the workforce is predominantly female. So yes, there are many high quality single women. And I say high quality just because I don't like the term high quality, because then that means that there's low quality. And I don't believe that people are high or low in quality. But yeah, there's a lot of women in Jamaica in very good jobs that are single. But there's also a lot of women who are not in good jobs that are also single.
And
So
so, Janine, correct. And I think this is maybe where you're going down, Neisha-yen. Um, I don't know if this is what you're alluding to, is that, and I'm saying this from like, this is my experience from an educational standpoint. We work, our nonprofit organization works a lot with kids every Saturday, as a matter of fact. And we really do have to focus on the boys, and we, like, those that are doing well, we have to encourage them, because we always think 10, 20 years down the line, when they do become men and they do become part of the professional workforce. And you're right, I didn't know that statistic about women, but it makes perfect sense, because you see it from even at basic school, that the girls are excelling in school, and if they're excelling in school, they're more than likely going to excel in their professional
careers as
careers.
well. Yeah.
So I think, again, Janine, correct me if I'm making a big assumption here. I think she's saying that because of what you're saying, and what I'm even observing from a young age, is that because women are doing, generally speaking, of course, doing so much better than men, it's hard for Jamaican women to find an equal partner. Do you find that is true?
Uh yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with her in that perspective. I, yes, I think there's other things that play a role in that
Hmm.
as well. But yeah, yeah, because logically that would be the point. Because if women are occupying most of the jobs, then it means that men are not.
Hmm.
Just by virtue of elimination. So it would mean that if there's 70% of the workforce is women, that means only 30% is men. And if you know, so yeah, I would agree with that.
So I'll also say like it's the same thing in America too, right? In the Black community, you have Black women are just far exceeding, again, generally speaking, their men counterparts, and you hear it all the time, and you read these different articles about the the struggle for. I'm going to go into something controversial in a second, but the struggle for Black women to find a equivalent partner. And so, and if I could find this article, I would definitely share it. So it's not like this is from my opinion, like this is what's happening in the community. And this is about 4 years ago. And so because of that, you're finding, no, so the article was saying that Black women are amongst the most loyal women across races to their race, and they find it difficult to want to date outside of their race, and
Saw that girl.
they are supporting their Black men and supporting our Black men, and sometimes to the detriment of their own quality of life, maybe is the term. Maybe that's not the
Yeah.
best term. But so what's also you also find happening is that many of these very successful, ambitious, career-driven women are starting to date outside their race, and that is. I don't really think you have much of an option here in Jamaica. Or you don't have plenty options in terms of dating outside of your race. Sorry, guys, we lost internet there. Are you there?
Hey, can you
Yeah,
hear me?
yeah. Sorry about that. And I was just like posting about
Getting into it.
how. No, I was saying before you came on, like how good the internet is here, and then it cut out.
I was
But
like, was that you? Was that me? I was like, who was that?
no, that was me. That was me. I thought somebody stepped on the cord or something. But okay, we're back here. Sorry about that, everyone. Yeah. So I think I was just saying, talking about the women having similar challenges in America as here in Jamaica.
Yeah. And I think that speaks a lot to as well our upbringing. You know, when you're growing up,
Mm-hmm.
you're told that you must make sure that you can take care of yourself because make sure, you know, and we are that is enforced in such a way that perhaps it's not the same for guys. I don't know. I'm just me throwing some stuff out there because I know my mom was very clear. Like, listen, just in case something happened, make sure you have your own. You can look after your own. You
Mm-hmm.
can survive on your own. Like, and she drilled that into my head. Like even as a young age, when I was, going on a little date, she's like, make sure you have your own money. Make sure you can get home. So it was always pressed upon me to ensure that you can do without,
Right.
assistance.
And
So
Janine has a clarifying comment here. She says, quality in terms of character, not necessarily economics. I live here, education, ambition, drive, etc.
Yes.
But I think, what we're saying, and I think economics is driven by all of those characteristics that you just mentioned: education, ambition, drive. If you have that, then more than likely you're probably going to have you'll have a career. What kind of career it's going to be, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So I think you're furthering the point there, Janine.
Yeah. Yeah. Janine, I know exactly what you're saying, Janine. I'm here with you. Look at you.
I know, right? Thank you, Cece.
Look at
Appreciate that.
you. See, it's the dating in Jamaica, man. Everybody's like, ooh, are they as cute as we think they are? Yes, they are.
All right, just a few more comments here on some topics we discussed before. Kemsey says, it is definitely not forbidden, but I think issue is that most persons do not like when you throw your relationship in their faces. Besides that, nobody really cares. Fair
And
comment.
that's 100% Kemsey. Thank you. That's 100% accurate. Exactly what I was saying. Like, people don't care. Just if everybody do you, then we're all okay. The problem is when you're trying to throw whatever it is that you're doing in someone else's face or in someone else's person, or forcing somebody to accept something that they don't want. But that again is with everything, with everything. Like, don't push your whatever you're doing, whatever you think about anything, politics, whatever. Don't push it on me. That's your opinion. And I feel like relationships, as it relates to being gay or straight, is also the same thing. Like,
Right.
healthy boundaries, and let's all be mature enough to say, this is my opinion, it may not be yours, but I respect whatever opinion you hold as well. And I think for the most part that we're very like that in Jamaica. Jamaica is very, we don't care. As it's like, all right, like everything is everything is everything, everything is everything kind of thing.
Right.
So yeah.
All right. Got another comment here. Blind guy, his wife, and their life. Greetings. It's always a pleasure to see and hear you throughout with the value add of the guests like Neisha-yen Jones. As a nurse myself for over 25 years, we've enjoyed theater arts as well.
Hey, I love the name. Blind guy, his wife, their life. I love that. That's beautiful.
They are a regular on here every
I love
week,
that.
like clockwork.
Yeah, bless you guys. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, and I think it's really good to have these type of conversation. I love that you're a guy, I'm a girl, and we're talking about sharing our thoughts on the same, because sometimes perspective varies depending on your gender, obviously, So it's really
Right.
good to hear the other side. Like, what do you think over there? And like, what do you think over there? I think that's always good, and it's always wonderful, particularly when it's not a heated conversation, which it can
Right,
get in
right.
Jamaica. It can get a
Sure,
little
sure.
heated. So it's nice when it's just like, oh, okay, I agree with that. Okay, I don't agree with that. And it's okay. I like that.
All right, Gina Palmer has a question. Thrapa Naisha. What about older American lady dating a younger Jamaican man? Do you think the relationship can be a success? I'll throw it to you first, and I have my own thoughts on that. Oh, you want me to
I
go first?
was
I could go first if you want.
okay. You go first. You go first.
Okay,
Let me hear what you
sure,
got. Let me hear what you got.
sure. So first, I'm in Negril. So that is I would say it's common. Put it that way. It's common, and I could think of many relationships of this dynamic that have budded here at Travelers here in the Grill, and they continue to this day, as a matter of fact. So I do see a lot of, and not just American lady, but older women in general, coming to Negril and coming to Jamaica in general, but I can speak to specifically Negril, and successfully finding their relationships and their life partners. So very possible. Again, that I've seen it many, many times, and I could think of many examples. So this is not something that is super unique or cute or anything of that nature. So that's my take on it, Gina.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Because we just spoke a lot about women in the workplace and how successful women are generally. And I find that once a woman is at a certain stage in her life and she's kind of happy, you're not looking for someone to partner with for financial growth or financial stability or financial development, then you get to just love whoever, whatever it looks like. You know what I mean? So I see that a lot as well. I see that a lot as well in persons. I see a lot of women dating younger guys, and it being very successful, very respectful, very loving, very beautiful, because it eliminates. We all know that relationships, finance is a big part of why a lot of relationships don't work, and not being equal financially. Like, we know that. We don't want it to be the case, but that's the case because we are adults, we have things to do. So once you eliminate the finances and somebody's like, you know what, I'm good here, I'm not looking for that anymore, he doesn't need to bring that to the table, then it opens up the playing field a little more. Just like I was saying, if there's mushrooms and all you want is mushrooms, then it's a very finite thing that you can get. But if you're like, okay, get rid of the mushrooms, but I'll have, everything else on the buffet, then it becomes a little easier. So I see a lot of persons in love with that kind of ratio, as in the older lady and the younger guy. So it's very successful.
Awesome.
In my experience.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, got another comment here from Chanel. Is there an active expat dating community locally? I assume this possibly would increase possible of love. I don't know of that, but maybe you do.
There is a expat community here that's very active in Kingston. Again, so I keep saying we live in different places, so it depends on where you live. I have a few friends up in Mandeville. They do very well. They have a community there as well. Lots of wonderful love things happening in Mandeville, by the way. Kingston has a smaller community, but it's here. I'm not involved in it, so I can't give you the ins and outs of it. But it's there, and persons socialize within that circle.
Yeah. So we have.
Within the circle.
Gotcha. So we have a strong expat community here, but definitely not dedicated to dating. But there is an expat community that speaks specifically for Negril that would welcome anybody with open arms.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Let's just scrolling through the comments here. We'll just throw up a comment from Scotty.
Hello, Scotty. Scotty says, I love my Jamaican men. I hate the gaddis mentality that many, not all, have adopted.
Janine, again, I agree that with that, in a university class 8 out of 10 are women. So the pool of single and available men who are your peers is slim.
Yeah. And of course, because as well, like you date where you work. You date where you socialize. Let me say that. So if I'm only going to the gym and to work, that's where I'm going to be dating. So if where you work is majority female and at the gym is tend to be majority male though. Just for those out there.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess everything is different because, in my experience, the gyms that I go to 3 gyms. One is an all-female gym, so obviously there are no guys. The other 2, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's like, oh, hi. Beautiful. I'm like, yes. Just mostly men. Yeah. So my point, though, was if that's all you are exposed to, if you date where you are, it tends to get a little bit harder because most of the persons that you are around would be female if you're a female. But for the guys, now if there's 20% of the workforce is male and 80% is female, they should have a better chance of finding a mate in the workplace than the female would, just by virtue of numbers.
Right.
So Janine is right when she said easier for men in that regard.
Right.
Yes.
Sade says, "Are most business owner men in Jamaica?" If the answer is yes, this would this would offer the corporate employed women men they can date.
Shade Jones. Are we related, Shade? Um, I don't know. Statistics shows that most of the businesses that's opened up recently globally are women. Young entrepreneurs tend to, not young entrepreneurs, but entrepreneurs generally tend to be, I can't remember what the statistics was, but it was mostly women. And I think the most percentage of millionaires or whatever was created between 2020 and now were also female. So as it relates to the corporate industry being mostly owned by men, I don't know that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. There's certain parts of corporate that is still male dominated,
Mm-hmm.
like finance, um, the stock market. Like a couple of banks I know that deals at Wall Street, that trading and stuff, is heavily still men. But I don't know if that's the same for the whole corporate entity. I don't know. I don't know. That's not my experience, Shade. That's not my experience.
Yeah,
Single. So not for me, but you know.
I don't know either. But we will move on to the next comment. Blind guy, his wife, and their life. Does Neisha-yen or Throp see a mindset of Jamaicans looking to thrive there in Jamaica are seeking travel to the States for the American dream?
So I'll be taking that one.
Sure. Um, yes. Yeah. I mean, I do see that. I think there's a big, what would I say? There is a big ambition for people to move abroad. That's I can speak for specifically here in Negril, and wanting to go there, get their passport, their green card, and go to America. So that's still definitely a thing. Yeah, they're going after the American dream, but I know of multiple. I'm just laughing because I know of multiple cases where they've gone there for the American dream, and they're like, "Nope, I'm not going back."
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess, my point is, it's there, and I think everybody's experience in trying to achieve that is different.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I think it's more about opportunities. Um, and where opportunities present themselves. I find that a lot of persons like nurses in Jamaica leave because they don't have access to the next level of earning potential as they'd like. It's not readily available here in Jamaica, so persons tend to leave. I know a lot of other persons, they're in their career path or whatever, and they feel that they're as high as they can go in
Mm-hmm.
that financial bracket within that company. So they feel that they can get more earning potential abroad. And then you have the others who just like want to go see what the rest of the world is like. So yeah, I think that's somewhat accurate to say. But then you also have those that will never leave Jamaica. I also have friends that's like, listen, I am never leaving. Like there's
Mm-hmm. All right.
nowhere
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
home. I have those friends too. They're like, never. Jamaica is the best place. We're the smartest people. We're most ambitious. With the best lifestyle. I will say something about Jamaica. Living in England, I lived in England, I lived in Denmark, I lived in America, I did Japan for a second. The lifestyle that you can have here in Jamaica is second to none. You know, it's second to none. It's beautiful. So a lot of persons echo that sentiment. They're like, we want to stay here as long as the financial aspect matches up a little bit. You can afford
Right.
to. So, yeah.
Okay, we got a ton of comments. I didn't realize how much it built up. Let's. I try to pick like not the best
That's
ones.
good.
I'll just.
That means they're
Uh,
enjoying the conversation. I like that.
yes. All right. So let's. All right. Is there? So Vanessa, I'm just going to ask you to put Naisha's Instagram again into the comments for the people who are joining. So if they want to follow with her or follow her, you can do that on Instagram. So Melinda is asking, is there a reputable Jamaican dating site, and does your hotel provide a safe place for vacationing and meeting decent people? The only the only dating sites I know of are the American ones, Tinder, Bumble, that sort of thing. I don't know of any other ones. Do you know, Naisha?
No, and Jamaicans are on it. Like I'm on Tinder currently. Look me up. I'm on Tinder, and there are a lot of we're there. Like there's a lot. In fact, most of Jamaican men are on Tinder.
Mhm.
I see a lot. Oh, there's John. Hey, Bob. Hey. Like I'm like, what are you doing over here? So my point is that even though we don't have a app that's dedicated, that's made by Jamaicans per se, we are definitely engaging in using what's available to us. So if you needed to meet a Jamaican in particular, you find them on Tinder, Tinder mostly, but Bumble also. Yes.
Gotcha. And as far as the second part of your question about do we provide a safe place for vacationing and meeting decent people? Absolutely, absolutely. The many cases that I was talking about before about people meeting other people and falling in love, that has all happened here at Travelers. So there are many examples of this being a safe place in terms of physical safety, but then also in terms of, in a sense, being vulnerable and opening yourself up to a relationship. That is the environment that I think we've successfully created here. So we have a very homey environment, I would like to say, overall here at Travelers. But yeah, you can find love here at Travelers. That's possible.
I concur. I've been there.
Awesome. All right, let's scroll down. Mm. All right, so let's throw this one up there. Alfonso, I think the dating scene in Jamaica is a little bit guarded by so-called circled opinions. A lot of times a single person miss out on that intrinsic part of what they are looking for in a relationship. I'm not sure what um
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Alfonso, what does circle opinions mean? Or what the people in the circle think about you, like your friend group? A lot of the times, a single person miss out on that intrinsic part of what they're looking for in a relationship. Ah,
Yeah, if you could have some clarification on that, Alfonso, I'm not sure we understand it
yeah,
clearly.
yeah.
All right, next comment. I'm a mature Canadian woman who met my partner in Cave, Jamaica. We've had many challenges and still working towards union 6 years later. Hashtag love is the answer. Oh, awesome.
Oh,
Congratulations.
yeah. I want to know what the challenges are. Is is the challenge soul connections with Wanda? Is the challenge because you guys are from different cultural backgrounds and therefore trying to find a common ground on certain things? That I do find, and I'm just asking the question because I do find that sometimes when you're from like a first world country and a third world country, it can be a little different in finding common ground on certain things. So I'm wondering if that's what you meant about challenges, or you just meant like he keeps leaving the toilet seat up. That's universal. Like that is what it is. So
Good,
apparently,
good point. And Scotty, just reintroducing herself. My name is Tisha. Tisha, by the way, guys, short for Scatisha. Scatisha.
oh, because I was like, Scotty's like, I was confused. I was like, is that a girl? Is that a guy? Okay, thank you, Scotty, or Tisha rather. Thank you. But, yeah, see, it's good. It's good. It's good.
Okay, got a question for you, Neisha-yen. As a Jamaican returning after many years abroad, what is the performing arts scene like? When I left Mobay, Fairfield had a vibrant theater. Great interview, by the way.
Yeah, as a Jamaican, well, first of all, because of the pandemic, we close the entertainments, the arts is closed in Jamaica right now. I'm being jovial for those who are watching. I'm being a little bit jovial because the entertainment sector has been predominantly closed down due to pandemic woes. So if you are trying to come back now and like jump into a play or jump into, something like that, it's not keeping. It's not open for business right now. Generally speaking, I think Jamaica is the most creative place. Like everybody is creating wonderful things and doing stuff. There's always something to get involved in. There's always learning and exploring and growing. So it's a wonderful creative scene here. Creatively, financially, in the right space, corporate creativity is great. Creativity on its own can sometimes struggle. So it depends on what aspect if you're coming into being involved in creative academia. That's one thing that's wonderful, thriving. Lots of people doing their PhDs and their masters in lots of wonderful creative stuff and writing and literature, and it's beautiful. Dancehall and reggae is great. Just as a practitioner, I want to be an actress, or you want to be a writer. Writer, you'll be okay. Like an actress, possibly little, take some work. So it depends on what facet you want to be involved in, if that makes any sense.
Why why is it seemingly harder to be an actor here in Jamaica?
Why is it harder to be in?
An actor to pursue an acting career?
Yeah, because there's a lot of opportunities to act, but if you're only looking to fund yourself, as in your family, based off being an actress, it's financially not as abundant as we'd like it to be, for
Okay.
many reasons. One of them being in Jamaica, if you tell your parents that you want to be in the performing arts, they will tell you get a real job. That's not a job, that's not a career. And because of that thinking from a young age, it is permeated in a lot of people and the way they view the entertainment industry. And because of that, the financial backing that other sectors get, the entertainment industry doesn't necessarily get it. So because of that, the ricochet effect is it's not as financially viable in certain aspects of the entertainment sector. Some yes, some no. So what we need is the business administrative creatives to come and open up, the fund writers, the persons who can apply for grants and apply for funding and write plays and write things, who can be the head of it and not the tail. You know, so the tail being me, the actress, and the head being the person that pays me to act.
Gotcha. Okay.
If
Thank
that
you
makes
for that.
sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. All right. Back to the dating questions. How do you control for the stereotype that some of the locals just looking for the personal benefits as opposed to true love? I'll take a stab at that.
All right.
I'd say I feel like you got to look at that for anywhere. Gold diggers are everywhere, male and female. So you just gotta I mean, I think just general relationship advice is just you gotta know what you're looking for, and then also what you're not looking for. Um, yeah, I think there are those types of people who are looking for a come up, so to speak, in all walks of life. Is that here in Jamaica? Absolutely. Is it in New York? You better believe it. So that's
Yeah.
that's my take on it.
Yeah. But I want to jump in as well and say that there's a narrative that's been developing about, not developing, but is around about the gold digger and the personal benefit. Okay, let me establish something. Financially, I'm good.
Mhm.
I raised my daughter by myself and I'm okay doing that. I'm okay. That said, I'm not going to enter a relationship where there is no personal benefit. Like, you need to hold your own. So I'm not saying that you need to come in and look after me, but you need to come in and look after yourself at the
Right.
very least. You know what I'm saying? So this thing that now we're trying to avoid, I don't know. I think it should be more. I don't like the thinking about it in that way. You know, like, so if a girl says to you, "You paying for dinner?" Oh, she's a gold digger. Like, shouldn't you pay for dinner? Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
Is she saying, send me a new phone? I want an iPhone 13. And okay, cool. Yeah, like, hold up, we just met.
Right.
But if it's certain things, I'm like, yeah, you should do that. And you should do that. And you should do that. You know, as it relates to dating, I'm talking about.
So when Lloyd asked that question, like that's the latter part of what you just said is what I'm thinking of. It's like, can you
Yes.
send me money for this? Can you send me the phone? Like that sort of
Yes.
thing. Where you know that person isn't genuinely into you. They're more into material things and really
Yeah.
for that come up. But
Yeah.
That's the way I
I
interpreted
agree
it.
with you. And that shouldn't last very long. That
Right,
relationship,
exactly.
because even me dating, some guy is like, hey, can you pay my. We don't really have much more to talk about. You know what I mean? So I'm like, clearly you're not looking for love. You're looking for me to look after you. So that's not going to be a no. So, yeah, how do you control the stereotype that some. I think we need to rephrase the, the language that we use,
Hmm.
is what I'd say.
All right, I am scrubbing through these comments. There are like too many.
He's like scrolling, scrolling, scrolling.
Um,
That's good. I love that.
all right, I'm just gonna throw up some positive ones there.
Yep, a positive lifestyle. In every relationship, there should be personal benefits. Like I said, for him and her, I agree. Empress says true relationships should be mutually beneficial. Again, yes, there should be. Agreed. Empress Mara Monique. Right.
Okay, this is outside of dating, but
Making a living performing takes a long time, hence the term overnight success, 20 years in the making. That is a worldwide thing. Definitely.
okay. Sunov asks, "Is there a thriving Jamaican wood like Nollywood or Hollywood in Jamaica for films and acting?"
Jamaican wood. Jamaica wood. I like that. Which if there isn't, there should be. There is a thriving creative scene here in Jamaica, for sure. For sure. Is it like Hollywood or Nollywood? Those are multi-billion-dollar industries. Jamaica is not like that here at all. No, but there are things happening. A lot of things happening. Yeah.
And Suzette says, "My brother is part of the dance theater."
Which dance theater? There are many.
Let us know,
Oh, your
Suzette.
brother is Mark Finn. He dances with NDTC.
Oh, look
I
at
know
that.
Mark. I'm assuming from the Finn. I hope it's the same person. Uh, yes, National Dance Theatre Company. I have experienced them, soloed with them in my career. Yes. Thanks, Suzette.
There was another comment. I think I missed it. Okay, here we go. CC. She says US and UK drowning in debt and use credit for everything, but Jamaica is third world. You need cash to build your home in Jamaica. Jamaica more rich and abundant than the US and UK. I don't know about more rich, but definitely there is money here for sure. Absolutely. Don't let anybody tell you that Jamaica is poor or Jamaica doesn't have money, because man, I've seen it. I've seen some cars here that I haven't seen in the US, put it that way. Um
And the volume of cars, too. Like,
exactly. And you also got to think the that's what I always tell myself. The duty on imports of vehicles. You basically buy whatever car you get, you're buying two of them. It's particularly luxury vehicles, and you see them all over. And that should tell you a lot about the financial vibrancy and economic
mhm,
vibrancy that Jamaica is experiencing. But
mhm.
yeah, totally agree with this, CC.
Yeah. And not just cars, just with everything. When you see somebody with an iPhone versus an iPhone in Jamaica, know that we paid twice as much for it.
Hmm.
Whatever it is, we pay double what you paid for it here in Jamaica, just because. So for sure, for sure.
Um, let's think. All right. There is. Oh, John is asking for the 7 Mile. The 7 Mile is right there. Okay. We don't have that camera. We only got
Ah,
this camera.
oh, he's asking for the beach.
Yeah. We don't have that camera. You can
He's
get
like,
that
show me the
that camera up.
beach.
All right. We're gonna get that camera up. Man. All right. I think we're gonna. Let's see. We'll get maybe one more comment here before we let you go. No, I'm just gonna leave it at that, Naisha.
No problem. Well, it's been a pleasure.
It has. It has. Thank you for. I don't know how long we were on. I feel like we were on for a very long time. Uh,
It was
so
good.
this,
I enjoyed
yeah,
it.
this was almost an hour and a half. We're at almost an hour and a half. Um, yeah, this is awesome. This is awesome. Thank you so much for hopping on this.
It's my
And
pleasure.
everybody, go follow Neisha-yen. Vanessa, if you could put one more time in the comments her Instagram handle, so everybody can follow her.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, they said you got to come back on.
Blessing. Thanks, Tisha. So I got the name right this
Yeah,
time.
yes, you did. Yes, you did. All
Yeah.
right, so I'm gonna
All right.
let you go. Thank you so much. I really really appreciate you doing it. This was awesome. I think everybody enjoyed having you on, obviously, and we will work out something to have you on again in the future.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. And I hope
Okay.
he gets the view of the Seven Mile Beach. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Hold on. I think
Yeah,
there it
there
is. There it
it
is. We
is,
got you.
Jamaica. I miss it. I miss it. That's a view. Oh, $1 million view right there. Oh my gosh. All right, bye guys. Have enjoy your Sunday and enjoy the rest of your everything. And we'll talk later. Lots of love.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks again. All right. Awesome. Hope you guys like that one. Let me plug my headphones in real quick. Make a little switch. All right. That was riveting. Thank you, Auntie, giving me $20 to stop. Why did you do that? Auntie Angie, thank you. Yes, my birthday is my birthday weekend. My birthday was on Friday. Thank you, Auntie. Appreciate that. Hope you guys enjoyed that one with Neisha-yen. The wind is picking up. That was pretty awesome. Going into that convo, we kind of just winged it, but I think it worked out. You all had some really awesome questions, really, really pertinent ones. And with these, you kind of just never know where the conversation is going or where the subject matter can go. And I think Neisha did a great job. Great job. So thank you, Neisha, one more time. And also, yeah, please, everybody go follow her. Go follow her. Hop on her Instagram. She is super, super, super talented. I've seen a number of her videos and her performing on television as well. She's an amazing host. And as we mentioned before, we plan on working together sometime in the near future, hoping to do an actual podcast together, but we will definitely hear more about that in the future as we approach that time. Oh, thank you everybody for the birthday wishes. Thank you. Appreciate it. It was a good birthday. Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Lenworth. Thank you. All right, so I do want to hop into really the last subject, which was the next video, which is actually premiering in 30 minutes. So we're going to roll right into the premiere of the next video right after this. So at 3 o'clock. So, forgot about daylight savings time. So I guess 4 o'clock your time if you're on the East Coast. And that's where we're going to have the premiere of my interview with Simone Brown. She is conversation was awesome. She was born in Canada, moved to Jamaica. Her parents are Jamaican when she was basically a baby, and she grew up here in Jamaica and then migrated to Canada. And we learn all about her experience of coming back and spending more time here in Jamaica, and how she started this nonprofit organization 876 Volunteer, which connects people who want to connect with specific nonprofits in Jamaica, because she herself was having a big challenge of finding specific nonprofits that she wanted to contribute to. And I'm seeing all the birthday wishes. Thank you everybody for these birthday wishes. Look what you did, Auntie. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you, Sade. Thank you, Millicent. A Positive Lifestyle. Thank you. Thank you, Sanal. Thank you, Chanel. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Ingrid. Thank you, King Spotlight. Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you, Tisha. Scotty. Thank you, Donna. Really appreciate the birthday wishes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sade. So just hopping back to the premiere that we're going to be having in a few minutes, about 30 minutes, will be with Simone Brown, as I said, and she created this organization called 876 Volunteer, and she has, and basically it connects you with, sorry about the wind, it's getting like really bad, but it connects you with different nonprofits, and she works with all these incredible nonprofits and about these incredible nonprofits throughout Jamaica. And she is like such a super connector, and she's connected me to some really incredible people and places as well, as a matter of fact. And we really go through her story of her journey of why she started this, and really about just her being a Jamaican in Jamaica, and then also a very juxtaposition as to what that meant when she moved to Toronto. And essentially she was really, and like throughout our interview, she was really more accepted as a Jamaican, as who she is as a person in Toronto, Canada, than she was here in Jamaica, which I thought was very interesting and also surprising. And she found solace in that, and she came back to Jamaica to start up her nonprofit organization, and really is doing some incredible things here in Jamaica. So that is my interview with Simone, and that's going to be again at 4:00 East Coast time in about 30 minutes from now. Thank you again for the birthday wishes. Thank Dr. Diane, Melinda. Thank you, Love Tassie. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you, Winsome. Appreciate it. Thank you for the comments, Charmaine. Thank you for joining the live. I'll try to get it more regularly in terms of having guests come on the live in the future, because that was really good. Obviously, she was a super quality person, and I think she brought a lot of value to the table. Yeah. Hold on one sec. Shelly, where is she? Yeah. All right. Sorry. Okay, I forgot. We got another interview here, which is actually you're doing. And so we're asking them to come down. Hold on one second. We have to set up this space here. So just set up the seat for her. You hear Ali? We have somebody coming. Yeah. We have somebody coming for the interview. You just set up. Yep. So we're setting up for the next interview, and then this should be perfect timing to go into the premiere, the interview that I have with Simone. And Vanessa, if you can just throw the link in the comments for the premiere, so you can just go to my channel and you can see the premiere, and just throw the URL in the comments so everybody can hop right over to that right from here. Now, let me give you back the beach view. Yeah, this is the beach view from Traveler. So this is on our restaurant deck, and this is where I have breakfast probably every morning, and then lunch, and not lunch every day, but I eat most of my meals here on this deck. And yes, very nice and beautiful view, and super appreciative and grateful to have this view every day. And Ali's just giving you a little bit of a pan. So you were looking at the northern part of the beach, and now we are moving south and then to the west end of Negril. Positive Lifestyle, yes, every Sunday. We always try to start at 12, but like that never happens. We always have some sort of technical issue or something, but we're working out the kinks. But for the most part, we try to be here on this deck, on this beach, every single Sunday at 12. At 12. So yeah, hope to see you here next week, Sunday. Positive Lifestyle. It'd be great to have you. Donna says 169 people watching. Hit that like button, that thumbs up button. Definitely helps out a lot. Thank you, Vanessa. So the link is there. I think you can click. I can't click it, but I think you can click it. So that's the link to the premiere that will be right after this. Marie, do I live at Travelers? No, I do not. I used to live here. That I when I first moved here, I used to live on property. I used to think that was cool to live on a hotel property, but then it was like you were living at work, always available, always on the clock. So I was very happy to have move off property. So no, not living on property anymore. You are welcome for the beach view. And Robert says, sees rough storm coming. Yeah, it was. I hope there's not a storm coming, but it was very, very calm this morning. And it was super calm this morning. And the wind started to pick up. I don't know. Oh, Ingrid, thank you. Thank you for the birthday wish. Really appreciate that. Yeah, you guys got to come back. All right, we have our guests who just hopped in. Nice to hear from you, Ingrid. Thanks for hopping on the live. This is the most sunshine I can give you over there. All right, just a couple more comments here before we get into our guests who just arrived. Bob, do you do your own video editing? Can you speak about one day your journey into YouTube and how it's helped travelers? Sure, that's a great question. If you can mark that down, Vanessa, for us to talk about that at some time in the future. And yes, I do edit my own videos. All right, and Red says, as a Canadian, it is definitely a blessing to be living here in Negril. All right, let's get our guest going. Ali, like her mic has to be way closer. Okay, all right. Sorry, guys. We're just setting up the mic here for our guests. Thank you, Redlocks.
Bring it over to the side here.
All right.
Bring on some. Turn it like this. All
right, still setting up here. What's that? Gotcha. Okay. All right, we're almost done setting up here. Let me know when you guys are ready to go. All right. Good to go? Okay. All right, I think we're good to go on the interview. Okay. So, hold on. Check the mic. Just do a mic check. All right. So today we have, this is Georgette. And so Georgette was actually last week. So we were talking about coffee last week and the business of coffee in Jamaica. And people asking various different questions about investment opportunities and things of that nature, and then also brought up some specific names of coffee sellers on the beach. And I don't know who it was, but they told Georgette to come and see me, and they came. She came last week and stopped by, and I told her to come and stop by today so we could talk about her business. So Georgette sells coffee on the beach, and I'll say this is all you're doing as the community, and you sent her here, which I think is awesome. So if you could, whoever sent her here, and I think Georgette will say who it is in a second, just let us know. But it's a pleasure to have you, Georgette, and
Thank you.
and thanks for coming on. So if you would, let's see, can you just speak into the mic? I just want to test your mic. Go ahead. You can speak?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Let me know if you guys have trouble hearing Georgette. I think we're good. I think we can hear her. So if you would, you sell coffee on the beach, right?
Yes.
How long have you been doing that?
It's over 20 years.
You've been selling coffee?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And what's special about your coffee?
Well, it's the Blue Mountain coffee, the best, and they're certified, you know.
And where do you roast the beans yourself?
Do I what?
Roast the beans?
No. I buy it from somebody who buy it from the growers.
Mhm.
You know, he supplies me.
Okay.
Yes.
And how long have you been actually, and maybe you said this already, but how long have you been doing it on the Negril beach, selling the coffee?
Well, I would say over 20 years,
Yeah?
you know. Yes.
And I've known you pretty much since I moved down here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like 16 years.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so you know Thunder?
Thunder, yes,
Yeah.
I know him. I've been to him to buy coffee. Like I'm out of coffee and I went over to purchase some coffee from him.
Okay.
I never did get it, so I've never sold his coffee.
Okay.
Yes.
So Thunder is like somebody mentioned Thunder in the chat last week, and as somebody who sells coffee and recommends people buying coffee from him on the beach. So just for context. And so what time to what time do you work on the beach selling your coffee?
Well, I can be like 5 days per week,
Mhm.
say from 10 anywhere about 10, you know, until whenever.
Okay.
5 or so.
Okay, but
Yes.
I remember you told me that you try to get home before the sun goes down.
Yes, well, it's not that I can't be out later. It's just that I do not live on the main road and
Mhm.
I do not practice to be out after dark.
Gotcha,
You know.
gotcha.
Yes.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yes.
And is there a particular part of the beach that you get most of your sales, or is our high selling
Well,
location?
you know, I usually walk from down in the park
Yeah.
and come up to the coral seas. And years gone by, I would sell coffee from there, going up to as far as Swept Away.
Mhm.
But no, these days I haven't been going down to the park, and I notice most of my sales would be from anywhere from the Nirvana, you
Mhm.
know, Coca Palm, and so on. You
Okay.
know,
So like from Nirvana going up, you say is where most
well,
people...
most hotels buy. It's
Okay.
just that the business have slowed down over the past years,
Mhm.
and so it gets scarcer. But
Okay.
everybody usually buy.
And do you have repeat customers from all over the world?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, who's the person that told you to come see me? Who's that?
Jolf Hallman.
Okay. Where is he?
Jeffrey Hallman. He's from Canada.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I
So-
sold him some coffee
Oh, he's
and
right
we
here.
became friends, you know.
Oh, he's right there. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
He's. I just put his comment up there. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you,
yes.
Jeff Holman, for telling Georgette to come by. Oh, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions for Georgette. Sorry, I'm just talking to them. So let me know if you have any questions for Georgette. I'd be more than happy to ask them for you. All right. Seeing any comments here? So somebody asked if you have a storefront,
If I have a what?
a storefront that you sell your coffee,
A storefront.
like
What?
like a location or store that you sell your coffee.
Well, I do not quite understand that question. Like I store the coffee at
No,
my,
like a specific. Can somebody go to like a place, a building that you sell your
this
coffee?
coffee. Well, it would have to be at my home if it's a building. Otherwise, I'm on the beach.
You're on the
And
beach.
if I get a call
Mhm.
from someone from wherever, I would try to go and, you know, get the coffee on to that person.
Okay, so you're
Yes.
mobile business.
Indeed.
Okay,
Indeed.
okay, awesome. And Robert asked, do you sell beans?
Yeah,
Do
I
you sell beans or actually hot cold coffee to drink on the beach?
no, I sell the beans, the whole beans and the ground coffee
Okay.
on the beach. I do not sell any liquid coffee.
Okay.
Yes, at this time.
Okay. All right. Hold on, get some questions here. So what can you tell us what your prices are?
Oh, for a pound, it's 30 US.
30 US for a pound.
Yes, and
Okay.
half a pound it's 16 US.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And so that is actually cheaper than what we were saying last week, because in the stores they're selling them for about $50. Or
They are, because a lady purchased from me recently and she told me at the airport it's $50.
Mhm.
You know, these are certified coffee, you know, and they are vacuum packed. So it's the best, you know, I'm selling.
I see.
Yes.
And as far as the process, when people give you their money, do you give them the coffee right away, or do they have to put in an order with you?
Well, no. Well, if they want to put in an order, they could put in an order. But I always have the coffee with me, and I deliver and collect. You know.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And then Katie Vibes asks, are you an independent contractor, and can you ship to Miami?
Well, I would have to think about that.
Okay.
You know, I would have to think about it, the shipment.
Gotcha.
You know, there is a possibility, but I would really have to know that the person is serious, and how do I go about it?
Do you have any coffee on you? They're asking.
Yes, I
Okay.
do have. I have
Okay.
about 6 pounds.
You have 6 pounds of coffee
Yes,
on you right now. Can we
yes.
take a look at some of it?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Well, that's a pound of ground.
Okay, so this is a pound of the ground coffee. Hold on, I'm gonna bring. This is a pound of the ground coffee.
And that's the bean, and that's the ground, and that's
Oh,
a
sorry,
half
this
a
is the
pound.
bean I'm holding right now, and then this is the ground coffee here. This is a pound, you said, right?
Yes, the 1
Okay.
pound.
And this is going for 30 US.
Yes.
Is there a difference in price between the beans and the ground? Or
No, I keep it at the same price.
same price. Okay.
Yes. And that's a half a pound of the ground.
Okay, and then this is half a pound of the ground. Very professionally done, might I add. Very,
Thanks.
very nice. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Somebody, Love Tasty is asking, Tassie, excuse me, is the coffee Blue Mountain and the coffee organic and has a lot of antioxidants? Can you tell us more about what it's good for?
Well, I really don't get into those things, but you know, I heard that the coffee, somebody was saying for ladies, the coffee is good to protect against breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, if you drink if you want to stay up late, like you take some coffee, a cup of coffee, and you know, it would boost you up. You know.
Gotcha. All right. We have some people asking, So Marie, yes, she carries the coffee. So I was just showing the coffee. So she carries the coffee with her, selling on the beach. Sorry, looking at the wrong camera. So no, I'm sorry. Your question, I misread. So she asked, "How do you carry the coffee?"
I carried it in a bag, you know.
Okay, so
Very
it's
attractive bag, you know.
she has it in a very attractive bag. It's a big bag actually. Red Locks is asking how can they get in contact with you?
My telephone number
Okay.
is
And Vanessa, if you could put Georgette's phone number in there as well. Okay. Yep.
1876
Mm-hmm.
591 9686.
Okay. Excellent. So 876-591-9686.
Yes.
So that's Georgette's telephone number. That you can get in. You can get in touch with her. Are you on WhatsApp?
No,
No, she's not on WhatsApp. So you will have to
not
call.
at this time.
Not at this time. So you have to call her directly if you want to get in touch with her, whether you're here or abroad. If you want to make an order or anything like that, you can get in touch with her that way. Blind guy, his wife, and their life. So Throp, have you considered shopping from various roasters there in Jamaica, so we can get the goods directly from the people? Nope, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Thank you, Vanessa, for putting the phone number in the comment. So that's Georgette's number there that Vanessa put out there. Thank you. No, that's a good idea. Very good idea, blind guy. Appreciate that. We didn't, haven't thought about doing that. All right. Richard says, I'll be visiting Jamaica very soon. Therefore, I will be looking out for this lady. I might just purchase all that you have. Awesome, Richard. He says she loves Blue Mountain coffee. All right, Melinda. Vanessa, if you scroll up to Vanessa's comment just above Melinda, she put Georgette's phone number in the comments. It's 876-591-9686. Thank you all for questions. All right. Is there anything else you want to tell us about your business, Georgette, that we need to know?
I operate from home. You know, I live at in the West End.
Okay.
You know, and my mailing address is Ella Drive. You know,
Okay.
so that's about it.
Okay. And then can you tell us a little bit about like the process about how you put everything together and you package it and everything like that?
How I package it? I didn't package it. It was packaged. I bought them already packaged.
Okay. But
you
sell
yes.
it directly from your source.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. And where is that source?
The source came from Kingston.
Okay.
The person I buy the coffee from, he go up and buy it from the coffee growers, and he come from Kingston.
Okay.
And, whenever he's coming, he call me, or whenever I need to get him, I call him.
I see.
To ask him to take some coffee down.
Okay.
Yes.
And it comes directly from the Blue Mountains.
Yes, from what the package says.
Okay.
That's the best I know about.
The best you know.
Yes.
Okay. And your clients and the people who buy from you are satisfied.
Yes, I have not had any complaint.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. All right. I think we're gonna leave it there with Georgette. Okay. Oh, maybe this is not for me. Love Tasty. Okay. So they're asking if you have any children, and would you like to tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Well, okay. I was born in Negril. I grew up in Kingston. I migrated to USA, and in late 1979, I returned to Negril, where I lived in Kingston for a good 10 years. I am a cosmetologist by profession, and I went to a business school in Washington, D.C. I acquired a diploma also from Washington, D.C. Beauty Academy. And my children, I've had children, but I was not so successful. So I lost my children at a very young age. And, I have been married, I'm divorced, and, basically that's what is happening right now. Yes.
And now you have a mobile coffee business on the beach that you've been running for 20 years.
Yes.
Okay, awesome,
Yes.
awesome.
Well, I hope to do some business at home, to construct. I have a small property and I'm building on it, and I am hoping that I'll be able to have something more than I'll need to live in, so I can get some people in. But that is going to take some time because I'm in the process of getting it done.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you for
Yes.
sharing.
Yes.
Good questions. Good questions. And we met. I don't know if I can tell this. Can I tell the horse story?
About
The horse story?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So how we met is, I wouldn't say we met, but like how we got in contact, I guess more directly before this, obviously, is that she was actually walking on the beach and I was up here on the deck and there was a horse that was coming down the beach, and like I tried, and she was in front of the horse, and I tried to say something and shout to her, and it was just too late. The horse ran over Georgette, and it was crazy. It was just crazy that I witnessed that and that happened. And I remember she had a big gash on your leg
My
from
right
the horse's
lower foot.
on your right lower foot from the horse's hoof. And I remember the lady that was riding it. She was a tourist, and she tried to give her like a few $1,000s, and like I was just so pissed off that she even tried to do that. And I was like, heck no. There's just like no way you're just gonna ride that out, try and just pay your way out of it, and she's just gonna accept that. And it was just unfortunate that happened, but thankfully Georgette she's okay and she's a strong woman. But it wasn't like a little hit, like she like literally ran her over and she tumbled, and it was just like a crazy thing. And we've been having these challenges with the horses on the beach for many years. Thankfully it's not so much like that as it was before, but that was me and Georgette's connection story many years ago. So I figured that I would share that with you guys as long as you thought it was okay. All right, I think that's it. Let's see. All right, got one more comment. The last time I visited Jamaica, I purchased so much coffee. The last time lasted me for over 5 years, and now that I'm out, I'll be traveling to Jamaica just for some Blue Mountain coffee. So you have to contact Georgette, Richard. You have to contact Georgette. All right, Georgette, I think we're gonna leave it there. I hope some people contact you. I think they will. They said they're gonna contact you and get you some business.
Yes.
And I'm gonna buy some coffee from you right now, as a matter of fact. So just let me wrap this up, and I'll get a pound of the beans that you have there.
Yes.
Okay.
I really appreciate you for having me on this too.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you for coming
You're
by,
welcome.
and Jeff, thank you for connecting us. Really appreciate that.
Yes.
Well, that's what you guys do. That's what your community does, is just really bringing us together and supporting us and supporting people that we know, particularly here in the Negril community. So
Yes.
thank you so much for that, Jeff. I really appreciate that. And thank you again, Georgette, for stopping
You're quite
by.
welcome.
And please hit Georgette up. Vanessa, if you could put one more time Georgette's contact information in the comments, so people who are interested in buying coffee from her, when they come down or before they come down, they can do that. So sorry about that. And Blind Guy, his wife, and their life says, from tragedy to triumph with Drop and Georgette. Blessings to you both. Thank you so much. All right, we have the premiere coming up, which is actually starting right now. So if you would, since you're here, just hop over to, I don't know, I can't really see it, but stay on my channel and go to the premiere that we have with the interview that I'm doing with Simone Brown, and we can hop over there and everybody, we can talk and chat in the comments. And I'm going to end this now so we can go to the premiere. Sorry to do it so abruptly, but I want to make sure the people who are there for the premiere that we're all doing it together. So thank you all for joining us here on the live on the 7 Mile, live on the 7 Mile every Sunday. There's one more shot of the 7 Mile Beach. Thank you all for hopping on. This was a great live. I had a good time interviewing Neisha. Thank you, Neisha, for joining us here today earlier. Thank you again, Georgette, for joining
You're
us.
welcome.
And I will continue to try to have more guests come on because I think we just got so much value from different people and different perspectives during these lives. I really enjoyed this one. I can't thank you all enough for coming on this live, and thank you for everybody who donated in the live stream here. This is the first time I ever did it. It makes me feel so special, so awesome. I can't thank you all enough. I appreciate the general support and definitely appreciate the financial support. Again, hopping over to the premiere, Vanessa just put it into the comments, so you can go ahead and click that link and it'll bring you right to the premiere. Jackie, we're talking about the premiere of my next podcast video. So that is happening right now and it's on my channel. You can click that link that Vanessa just put in the comments and I will see everybody over at the premiere and I'll be commenting and watching it alongside you all. Again, thank you all for joining and I will see you next Sunday live from the 7 Mile here in Negril, Jamaica. Peace, everybody.